Hello, this is Cho of the Shiny Colors Discord, and welcome to another episode of the Shiny Review. Today we have 3 new cards I'd like to talk about: a Produce SSR for Chiyuki, Support SSR for Madoka, and Support SSR for Amana. Keep in mind that Chiyuki and Madoka are both limited, so they will be leaving after a little while, and we may see them return next year. Who knows? First off, we have Chiyuki. Our new June bride of this year is Chiyuki, who decided to round out Dance Alstrom area with a new multi-target unit that hits like a truck and provides a ton of support for a mostly underrepresented team in recent months. In terms of a memory appeal, she's just barely weaker than the previous Natsuha in terms of value, but it's still not too far off when you consider everything else Alstrom area can factor in over time. I don't think it's out of the question to guess that we might see the return of Tenka 2 this month if they decide to continue with a rerun schedule. With the amount of utility this Chiyuki provides, even a considerably older card like Tenka still has some merit, so let's keep an eye out for her as well. I can't really say anything negative about this Chiyuki, to be honest. She has great damage, solid buffing, okay healing, good passives, and great stat uncaps at plus 350 total at 4 stars, which is a lot. Another truly complete package for Alstrom area. Her roles are Center, Buffer, Attack All, and Healer, and I highly recommend pulling for Chiyuki. Chiyuki's initial skill is a max dance 2.7 appeal to all judges that scales based on how high your mental is. This also applies a 15% dance buff for 5 turns, and links into a dance 80% buff for 4 turns. At 4 stars, Chiyuki unlocks a max dance 4.2 appeal to all judges that scales based on how high your mental is, buffs your dance by 15% for 5 turns, and also then buffs your dance by 80% for 4 turns as the link appeal. Chiyuki's 1-star passive is a dance 50% up that requires Chiyuki on your team, and has a 30% chance to activate 3 times. Her 2-star passive is dance 50% up and mental 10% heal, as long as the turn count is 2 or later. This has a 30% chance to activate 3 times, and also has a dance plus 50 uncap. At 3 stars, she has a dance plus 50 uncap, as well as dance plus 150 uncap, and at 4 stars, she has a passive that is dance 75% up, as long as your mental is 90% or higher. This also has a 30% chance to activate 3 times. Her memory appeal once maxed out is a 100% dance buff for 2 turns that links into a maximum dance 4.0 appeal that scales based on how high your mental is. For the support recommendations, Dance Alstrom area's current issue is a lack of meaningful dance supports, so we have to opt for other teams as an engine of sorts. Hokura have access to a bevy of buffs and powerful dance supports paired with 1 or 2 dance Amanas that can pretty much work well. The alternatives can depend on what other Produce cards you bring. Asahi, as listed above, or a Mei or Fuyuko can assist if you build around Straylight, while Illuminate can be an option if that's your choice as well. Make sure to account for your grad insights and you should be okay. For the team recommendation, Dance Alstrom area, much like Visual, is very much in a complete state. While Tenka 2 and Amana 3 are pretty old by today's standards, they can still put in the work thanks to what Chiyuki provides through her passives and appeals. Tenka in dance position helps keep her damage healthy, or you can funnel the damage to Amana for her single target bias. Let your last 2 members supplement the playstyle you want to aim for. This is what I was talking about with the supports. If you opt to use Hokura supports, then Kaho 4 and Choco 3 are a great option. If you go with Illumination Star supports, then Mono 6 and Meguru 5 are pretty powerful. And if you choose to go with Straylight supports, then Asahi 3 and Fuyuko 2 are a great combination to use as well. On to the grades. As a center, Chiyuki earns a double S. It dawned on me as I was writing this that this memory appeal is the exact same as Chiyuki 5 from last year, just dance. It goes to show that a memory appeal that buffs and then dishes out damage is definitely the way to go in the current environment of Gradefest, so it's easy to recommend this Chiyuki as a center. As a unit, she earns anywhere from an A+ to double S. She took everything that worked with Chiyuki 5 but turned the appeals into AoE. While she lost a tiny amount of buffing in favor of this, it's a worthy trade-off. Again, much like Chiyuki 5, I think Chiyuki 6 can possibly struggle without Alstrom area support, but the added benefit of hitting 3 judges can outweigh this, making her lowest point still better than our previous Chiyuki card. She's an incredible card overall. Next we have Madoka. Functioning as an indirect sequel to last year's Summer Natsuha support, we have Madoka's latest card, who is loaded right off the bat. She comes equipped with 5 unique support skills, all with mostly credible utility. It's very surprising to consider Room Mastery as her weakest, but that's the nature of said skill. Visual Nocchill must be inching ever closer with a crazy support of this level. Her only generic support skill is Idol's Bond, and she comes equipped with 5 unique support skills. Visual Mastery SP reaching +9 at level 75, Room Mastery reaching level 2 at level 1, Excellent Boost which reaches rank 10 at level 80, Unit Mastery SP reaching +9 at level 80, and Visual Mastery Stamina reaching +5 at level 75. Her support appeal does scale, staying as Visual 3.0 throughout. However, starting at level 60, she unlocks an Evasion 10% buff for 2 turns, and this increases by 10% every 5 levels. At level 80, it becomes an Evasion 50% buff for 2 turns. Her TFD idea is Talk, her Insight token for Grad is Vocal, and her proficiencies in Landing Point are in Visual and Mental. Madoka's 1-star passive is both an Evasion and Attention 15% up. This requires the turn count to be 2 or later, and it has a 20% chance to activate 3 times. Her 2-star passive is a Visual 70% up and Attention 50% up that requires an active reaction buff. This has a 10% chance to activate 3 times. Her 3-star uncap is a Visual +100, and her 4-star appeal is a Visual 3.5 that grants a 20% evasion buff for 3 turns. Her event passive is an Evasion 20% buff that requires Madoka on your team, and it has a 20% chance to activate twice. Madoka earns an S+ to a SS-. This new Madoka is honestly pretty nuts. She packs a lot of helpful passives for Nocchill, and also supplements this with Attention in order to ensure that judges will target you, and proc evasion for skills like Toru or Madoka. Her support skills make sure she can provide a ton without giving up a lot, as she trimmed the fat of mostly redundant passives for better stat building. Her support appeal is also killer at level 80, possibly making Visual Wing that much easier. She's definitely a must-have for visual-focused producers, and especially if you believe in visual Nocchill in the future. I highly recommend pulling for Madoka. Lastly, we have Amana. Last scenario SSR we talked about was Chiyuki, who had a nice amount of SP mastery for Vocal. Amana has copied her support skills almost exactly, but has exchanged SP for Dance Mastery Dance. I don't think she's necessarily bad this way, but not having SP mastery might dissuade you from using this Amana too heavily, unless SP isn't really the problem for you. She's perfectly fine as an event SSR otherwise. Her support skills are Idol's Bond, Promise Recovery, Rest Boost, and Stamina support, and her unique support skill is Dance Mastery Dance, reaching +8 at level 75. Her support appeal does scale, starting at a Dance 2.5, working its way to a Dance 3.0 at level 80. Her TFD idea is Appeal, her Insight token for Grad is Visual, and her proficiencies in Landing Point are in Vocal and Dance. Amana's 1-star passive is a Dance 18% up that requires you to be in the dance position. This has a 30% chance to activate once. Her 2-star passive is a Dance 35% up that requires the turn count to be 4 or earlier. This has a 30% chance to activate once. Her 3-star uncap is a Dance +50, and her 4-star appeal is a Dance 2.8 that applies a mental damage 10% cut for 3 turns. Her event passive is a Dance 20% up that requires Amana on your team, and this has a 40% chance to activate twice. Amana earns a B. Amana loses points compared to someone like Chiyuki solely because just having a +8 to Dance doesn't compare to +8 SP. That being said, she's still a reasonably okay event SSR, and having double proficiency again might prove useful for Landing Point once we start building towards whatever Fest tours may be. So I recommend farming for this Amana. And that will do it for the video today. Thank you so much as always for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more Shiny Colors content. Next time we'll be talking about whatever banner comes next, so let's look forward to it together. I've been Sho, thanks for watching, have a wonderful rest of your day.